The only possible way for me to interpret that particular emoji is peacock pants, and as a specific request for this here branding.
Hello. I see the assassin. I see the assassin.
And may they continue to do so.
And now, this program is brought to you by
Glass TV on here. Why would we need a TV? A darn TV. Why on earth would you put a TV in here? A darn TV. Why on earth would you put a TV in here? Why would we need a TV? A darn TV. A darn TV. A darn TV. Why on earth would you put a TV in here? Glass TV on here. Why would we need a TV? Why on earth a darn TV? Why on earth would you put a TV in here?
Remember, Embody,
there is no agency. We want
what's best.
Yeah.
And Hey Ups and Mark Jackson, Afro Pilots and Joe Cross, Stephanie Christos, Rascal, and nobody else. That's everybody. Everybody else doesn't love us anymore. Hey, what?
Oh wow, yeah, it's true. So yeah, so that's and it's lamentable because I.
coach, and as it turns out, the much anticipated Pastor Paul Hermes talk with John Vervaeke has been released. And as such, we're having this episode called The Ghetto Chakra IFAs. And Grim Hermes is the title, so we're going to be going over that there. The much anticipated. Today's show is sponsored in part by the Shadow Cabal and also Estuary Northwest 2024 Encountering Face to Face, a 3-day conference in Olympia, Washington, hosted by Grail Country, with a secret special VIP birthday party for 12 VIPs, seat 11 of which we're in the process of unlocking. Okay, and then you get savings throws versus mind control, but I thought everybody here should know that we're giving a special +4 to, that's me. No, we go here and then here. We're giving a special +4 to today's saving throws to Tom Tom Mills, Upcycle, and Joe Cross for giving a 7 indigo for me on the last stream. It's all very complicated, but those 4 guys get a +4. Everybody else, you choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your resistance to the mind control. I roll the die. If it comes up over 10, that means you've made your mind control savings throw. You take half damage from the mind control. If it's under 10, you take full damage, don't you know? And it's a little worse because I told you so. But you knew you got a savings throw. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Survivalist with the 6. Unless you got that +4, you're gonna need something. Socialist coming in strong with an 18 today. That's an 18 for you. Lovers of wisdom, 5 for you. Heart folks, you made it with a 14. 2 pairs of chakras, 2 pairs. Indigo kids pairing up with a 4 as well. Well, welcome to the Ghetto Chakra IV stream. Yada, thank you. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. Oh, hey, Peter Penrose box, giving a +7 bonus to the art folks. That's very nice of you, Peter. In case you don't know, the Discord's a place that we call the Broken Clock Tower, because broken clocks are right at least twice a day, right? Anyway, it's a confusing and huge place, as you'll soon see. Casino card, deck of the show. Wait, casino deck card of the show. That is the king of diamonds. Check this out, though. It's a huge wandering place. You navigate it by scrolling up and down over here. You see the moving part right there? And somewhere in here is this VNA logos, where this was brought to us by Franco, who claims he did not make it. Okay, but this is not that. This is way down in a different place called the Loom Room, where you have to have special magic keys to get through. And that's where I did the looming of the talk with Pastor Paul and Jean Vervaeke and this Hermes thing. And as the title of this stream indicates, not that there's the thumbnail while you consider the title, the Grim Hermes question mark, this ghetto chakra if stream, comes from this first time stamp here.
First things Hermes did was he said, you know what? You should read the New Testament again. Okay. Okay. I like stuff like that.
See, the reason this title is Grim Hermes is because that's exactly the way I would talk to John. You know what? You should do this. You know what? You should do that. And so it seems to me that Hermes is talking to John the same way I would. And therefore, that's why it says that. There. Title delivery. Now I have a clip called Accountability Stoke. What could that be?
Reading Faulkner's book where... So that,
I'm going to
now
be talking to Faulkner at some point soon. We're trying to get it arranged.
Oh, really? That'd be wonderful.
He reached out to me. He wants to talk to me because he saw some of the videos with Seth. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you listen to him, it sounds like they're saying Faulkner, like Robert Faulkner with the Faulkner, but no, it's Faulkner, and he's this guy.
Hi, I'm Bob Falconer, and I'll be teaching a course called The Farther Reaches of IFS, Unattached Burdens and Guides. Some of you may recognize.
Now, in case you're completely unfamiliar, IFF doesn't stand for ifs, although the ghetto chakra ifs might. Okay, it stands for Internal Family Systems, where this one fellow who once a time did family therapy said, you know what? People are kind of like that inside their mind, and then they start talking to the parts. And the fun part about this is this unattached burden is what they call demons.
Recognize me. I trained or helped train over 1,000 people in IFS now. I've been a program assistant almost 20 times, and I've assisted at many other trainings. But I'm mostly of trauma, and these things just seem to be, they didn't fit, and I wanted to ignore them. But after she told me that, I felt I could not ignore them and had to investigate. I thought,
all right, I probably should have included what she told him, which is at the front of the personal story.
I wanted to ignore these things because they didn't fit my worldview. I'd spent decades focused on trauma and the healing of trauma and the psychotherapy of trauma, and these things just seemed to be, they didn't fit, and I wanted to ignore them. But after she told me that, I felt I could not ignore them and had to investigate.
Dag blasted. Anyway, that's him. He's going to talk to John. Let's get back to it. People of the world, this clip is called.
Only is okay when I'm alone and I'm in prayer and I'm communing with my God and I'm talking back and forth with the Holy Spirit, and this seems good to the Spirit. I have to leave my office, and now suddenly, supposedly, that same Spirit that's talking to me is talking to my church political adversary. And now suddenly we have to get on the same page, and that impacts, obviously, it cross pressures the ontology.
So I've actually had a conversation with Hermes about this.
Really?
About the cross pressures of your ontology? Oh, hey, look, you like to make fancy emojis? You can now if you grab a gifted gift roll membership.
Yeah, I've actually had a conversation with Hermes about this.
Really?
Yeah, about this idea, and he was basically making the argument. I know this sounds weird to talk this way, but he was basically
welcome, John. Welcome to the weird people.
I actually, the clipping wasn't long enough. We have to let it run a minute.
The world.
People, yeah. So he was basically making the argument, which is very much like you were making. He was saying, he's saying, no. You know the logos that shows up in Dialogos, that and what's going on inside.
Please note that the no comes from Hermes directly and isn't an invention like we thought of Jean Vervaeke.
He was basically making the argument, which is very much like you were making. He's saying, no. You know the logos that shows up in Dialogos, that and what's going on inside, they both have to be the poles of what I am for you.
What?
No. You know the logos that shows up in Dialogos, that and what's going on inside, they both have to be the poles of what I am for you.
The poles of what I am. What are the poles of what I am for you?
Oh, he said, yeah. You can't make this a completely internal psychological. It's like, I am the way to internalize what happens when you're practicing Dialogos. Bring it in, let it change, and then I will help you take it back into Dialogos. And don't try and stabilize it and possess it and land it here or land it there. Let it flow. Let it flow. That was his basic recommendation, which I thought, okay, that sounds good. So that's what I've been practicing.
What? He's an intermediary of the Dialogos between you and the outside world? Anyway, next clip. It was the Hermes says no. Here, this was a highlight.
I have no doubt that that's true a lot of the time. So I said, I'm going to make this really concrete and specific. Can a part lie to you? Because you're saying they have intentionality. Can they lie to you? And he was taken back. And I'm complimenting Mark. I'm not criticizing him. He was taken back and he went, that's a really interesting question. And I said,
Now available on Amazon. Through the Fire. A Pilgrimage of Poetry. A book by Grimm's friend, Nolan Watson. See the link in the Highbind chat for more information.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right? What room? I want to cast Magic Missile. The room where he's casting all these spells from. He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
That's true a lot of the time. So I said, I'm going to make this really concrete and specific. Can a part lie to you? Because you're saying they have intentionality. Can they lie to you? And he was taken back. And I'm complimenting Mark. I'm not criticizing him. He was taken back and he went, that's a really interesting question. And I said, like, why would they not? Like, is it possible that they have goals other than yours? Well, of course they do. And they have intentionality. Well, could they lie? And all the his response, which was, he basically said, and this is, again, I'm trying to compliment Mark. This shows he's a good scientist. He said, I hadn't thought of that question, which means in all the literature and all the practice, that question had never arisen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that question should arise.
Yeah.
That question should arise.
What? We've never considered that these things telling us they're demons might be liars. Hey, Nico's back. Nico's back in the Hive Mind chat and now can make a Goose thanks to Upcycle Club. Welcome back, Nico.
Why can the capacity, I know that people can talk themselves into things in really powerful ways, and that is a vehicle for self-deception. Rumination is an engine of depression and self-destructiveness and despair. So, and I talk about parasitic processing in my work. Like, couldn't we have internalized something, or it evolved or took shape and all of this? And it's just nasty. It's just nasty. Yeah. I mean, there's a song by the Strum.
I think he's about to quote a Strumbella.
And it's just nasty. It's just nasty. Yeah. I mean, there's a song by the Strumbella that, there's some...
Okay, and then.
Jordan would like at some point for you and I and Jonathan and he to have a conversation.
Oh, okay. Oh, I would love that, obviously. Yeah. But it's, and again, to get back to the...
Didn't linger on that at all. Maybe that's why it took so long for this to get released, for the confirmation on that information, that the mob boss, Papa Peterson, wants to talk to little old Paul with his friends there.
Jordan would like at some point for you and I and Jonathan and he to have a conversation.
Oh, okay. Oh, I would love that, obviously.
I feel distinctly left out. So much, in fact, that I suspect that the entire purpose of that meeting will be to chastise Pastor Paul for not bringing me under proper control. I also have one more clip that made absolutely no sense to me. Maybe you can help. Do you understand this at all?
Right. And I've said this to you before. I don't know. I just don't know. It's like, where in Christians the internalization of the spirit of the church and Christianity separates off from the Holy Spirit and Jesus. I can't see that. And that used to bother me. And in a similar way, it's not bothering me anymore. And it's like, maybe that was the intent.
That first bit there, it's
like, where in Christians the internalization of the spirit of the church and Christianity separates off from the Holy Spirit and Jesus. I can't see that. And that used to bother me. And in a similar way, it's not bothering me anymore. And it's like, maybe that was the intent. I mean, right? If this is his body, maybe that was the intent. I don't know. And remember, I prefaced
the way he brought Jonathan Pageau into our awareness was sort of as a bishop of symbolism. I mean, the man now runs the Symbolic World website, and it's all into symbolism. And and I don't know why I can't find these videos on either of their channels, but they brought Peterson came on and he was like, check this out. It's a symbol, and he put it on his head. It's a symbol, and he put it on his head. It's a symbol, and he put it on his head. welcome here there then to the Ghetto Chakra IFS stream. I'm General Griswold Gaius, of the First Life and Grad School, and on this card it says disclaim. And as we're getting to the delivering on the thumbnail portion of the stream, the disclaim is meant for that. I'm a weirdo on the internet, and anything that I recommend that you do that messes up your psychology is therefore on you, because I'm just a weirdo on the internet, and that's the disclaimer. But the Ghetto Chakra IFS, it goes like this. If you have internal parts, why not represent them as the will to survive, your conception of self, your social network, your power of love, your wisdom, and your whatever the hell else. And then do a journal thing once a day from that to that to that part. You're like, open the book. You're like, all right, will to survive. What do you have to say today? And then tomorrow you do what I think of myself. What do you have to say today? And that would be the Ghetto Chakra IFS system. If you do it, pay us $9.99 for but let us know how it works. That's a sample of do-it-yourself at home. Some risks involved. IFS. And if Hermes breaks through and starts talking, by all means, let us know. All means.
I listen to him. I think he is telling us the truth. That is indeed what he wants. Those of you who are sort of sniffing for duplicity or grift or dishonesty, I don't smell any of that here. I think he's telling us. I see this guy. I see both of these guys, but I see this guy as being very, very genuine and honest. He is telling us exactly what he thinks.
Now, what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Truth in aromatics is a good idea. Welcome, everybody. Here's the stream. We got now this rest of the card. That's all we have left. You've missed the Grim Hermes part. You've missed the Ghetto Chakra IFS part. All we have left is this card. This card came about from, it says nuked, atomized collapse of the buffered self. See, this collapse of the buffered self was the impression, my takeaway from the Perveki Vanderkle's dialogos on Hermes was the notion that the buffer itself is collapsing. And it occurred to me that this was natural because first they nuked the family and then they atomized us into individuals. And now the dissolution of the buffer itself of the atomized individual into these quantum fields of self. Well, that's interesting. But the whole notion of Vervaeke talking to Hermes and us accepting that as the thing opens up a broad, wide door into what I call Blavatsky on this card. And this whole, 100 years ago, channeling spirits in the new age now. Like all of that shit that's been closed off as undebunked woo comes flying open when you accept you. Hey, Josh. See, what happened was Vervaeke was doing this IFS shit, and then Hermes came in, and he told us about it on Peterson. So now, can I quantize gravity? No. But the introduction to quantum fields is terribly interesting because the quanta just means we put a number on it. There's some number we don't know. That's a quanta. That's all the fuck quanta means when they say quantum fields. It's insane. Anyway, Blavatsky, Wilbur, Homath. You see, the connection therefore is the Blavatsky is the New Age stuff and the Theosoph, and like Ken Wilbur is the descendant of that. And it's all very ironic to me because when I came into this whole scene 5 years ago, it was over on the Sorting Myself Out channel where this little fella named Ryan was doing parts work and was also talking, featuring discussions with this Ken Wilber guy, and it all seems to circle back around. Here's from his hour 11-minute video, or whatever. That you see the 11s. Here's from that video about the 33rd minute in, I seems. And share this tab instead.
Some time, And if you want to talk to my challenger right now, all you're going to get is a fight. So can we time out? That's taking responsibility. Sometimes she gets annoyed. She's like, man, like you're always doing this self-awareness bullshit and whatever. But it works. It actually softens her up, even though she puts up a false front at first, because people like authenticity. They do. People like it when you're honest. They don't like it when you're fucking snaky and lying and trying to.
Well, it depends if they're trying to get me in bed or not. Sometimes I like it when they're snaky when they do that. What? Okay. He was talking about like doing the parts work and then like working that into his relationship, which is weird. Here's the other bit. Here's some of the Ken Wilber guy who has brought you what Homath is bringing to you now. It's like upstream from Homath, this guy on this vampire-looking fellow on the right. The other one's a freak. That's his name.
Exactly right. And again, in the same way that 100% of infinity is present at every single finite point.
Yeah.
Because eternity is the point without time. It's timeless.
Yeah, like in geometry at point.
Yeah. 100% of it is fully present at every point of time.
Yeah.
So living in the timeless now, then we're directly in touch with that eternity, really. Yeah. And that's the same eternity is present at every point of time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even Wittgenstein, Mr. Logical Positivism, and this is a direct quote from the Tractatus. If we take eternity to mean not everlasting temporal duration, but a moment without time, then eternal life belongs to those who live in the present.
Yeah, it's a great quote. I love it.
It's good.
Yeah.
What? Eternal life belongs to those that live in the present? What kind of shit is that? Anyway, if you go to Ken Wilber's website, you can see him in a nice wig. He looks like an old lady.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Daddy.
All right, so that's what we had from the stream, I think. Is there another tab? Was there another? No, that's all the tabs you had. You can go clip stream, you show some Reaper's Harvest. No, you can show that this is still happening. We're working on it. The Encountering Face to Face tickets are on sale, I think. Here you go. You can enter a password if you get one to get the great. Apparently, there's still camping packages left. Okay, whatever. Love you guys. See you later.